A River Flows in You is one of the most popular piano pieces of the past 15 years. I still get this as a request almost weekly, and students frequently complain to me about how difficult it is and how many different versions of sheet music exist out in the world. So I've come up with my own version that I really believe to be the easiest way to play this song while still having it sound really nice. So let's check it out. We'll break it down as usual, do one hand at a time, and then step by step put the hands together. As usual, we'll start with the right hand. You should put your pinky on a high A up here. So just for reference, I'm on a full 88 key piano. Here's my middle C, an octave up. There's another C. And then if we go up a couple of notes, there's the A that I want. So, pinky on A. And what we're going to do immediately after is play G sharp with the ring finger, back to A, G sharp, A, E with the second finger, back to the A, and finally thumb on D. So we're pivoting back to the pinky on A several times. Watch this. 5 and 4 are weak fingers, so immediately people are cringing, and you're probably going to try to do something like this and use 2 and 1 or 3 and 2. Don't do it. It's not going to work, and your fingers will never get stronger unless you actually use them. So again, one more time. 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 2, 5, 1. Once you land on this D right here, you can stay here for a little while. It's really up to you how long you hold it. But it's kind of a moment where you can breathe a little bit. In the music, we would put a symbol over it called a fermata, which means hold for a little while. You're going to do this whole phrase twice. So again, and hold. So that's the first part of the song, playing that phrase 2 times. Okay, now the melody's really beginning. So for the second part of the song, we're going to play something a bit more complicated, but just stick with me and I'll show you all of the steps. So again, 5 on A, and then very quickly, 4 on G sharp and back to A. So once you get that, see what I did? Thumb hit a lower A, an octave down, then a G sharp and an A. So far we did this, and then don't move on until you have that. Next part, again, that low A with the thumb, 3 on E, pinky on A. So what we have so far, once you have that, there's one more part, just A, D, A. So all of that smushed together is like that. And I should clarify that on this last one, A, D, A, it's best to use the ring finger on D, then of course come back to the thumb on A. Once you do that, you're in a perfect position to play C sharp with the third finger, ring finger on D, pinky on E, back to C sharp, B with the second finger. Very natural for the hand. I'm not crossing or flipping over or anything like that. Again. So just to kind of put it all together. So take your time with that. That's the main theme of the song. You have to get that to be pretty solid before you go on and do anything else. Next, thumb is on A here, and you cross over with the second finger to G sharp because we're sort of out of fingers. So it looks like this. Okay, I know it seems silly to hop over like that, but there's a good reason for it once you see what's coming up next. So after that, we'll climb up A, B, C sharp with 1, 2, 3. And climb up some more with 3, 4, 5. C sharp, D, E. Now we'll come down, D, C sharp, B, with 4, 3, 2. So all of that was just like that. Okay, so now that you guys know part one, the slow intro part, and then the part that I just showed you where the main theme comes in, right? We're ready for part three, which is almost the same as part two, with just a few notes tweaked. So let me show you what part three is going to look like. That's where it's different. So there are just a few added notes, like maybe 3 or 4 different notes. It's very minimally different. So let's go over it. So part 3. All of that is identical to part 2. So I'm not going to hold your hand through it. You can just rewind. What we're going to do now is different. 3 on C sharp, cross the thumb underneath to D, second finger on E, pinky stretch all the way up to high C sharp, come down with the ring finger to B. So that was... And just to show you how that fits in, here's part 3. Here's the different part. Let's go on, and you'll see some minimal differences between part 3 and part 2. 3, 2, 3, A, G sharp, A, that's the same. Down to a lower A, that's the same. A, B, C sharp with 1, 2, 3. But here's where it gets different. There's an extra note. A. And then C sharp, D, E with 3, 4, 5. An extra C sharp with 3. And then 4, 3, 2 playing D, C sharp, B. Okay, that's probably confusing. That's a lot of stuff. So let's go back. I'll play it again. Here's all of part 3. Here's where it changes. So just a few differences from the previous part you learned. If part 2 is really solid before you attempt part 3, you should have no problem adding just a few extra notes and comparing the differences. But again, don't move on to the next part until the previous part is solid. Okay, let's dig into part 4 now. Kind of similar to parts 2 and 3, just a little bit of a variation. So if you've gotten everything so far up to this point, you should be just fine. So what we're going to do is put 4 on A, and you're going to play A, B, A, G sharp, A. And the fingers are 4, 5, 4, 3, 4. So just practice that for a minute. Again. Now let's move on. We're just going to add a thumb playing E afterwards. Watch this. So it plays several times, so you get some mileage out of that little figure if you learn that. So again, it happens 2.5 times. Now you're going to cross your thumb underneath the G sharp to an A, and you're going to use all 5 fingers to play A, B, C sharp, D, E. And now you're going to come down backwards. C sharp with 3, 2 on B, 1 on A, cross 4 to G sharp, and finish with thumb on B. That's a lot of stuff, so let me review part 4 so far. Cross. So if you can do all of that, you have part 4. You just have to do it twice, back to back, like this. Again. Okay, if you've gotten part 4, you're almost there. Part 5, the last part, is a variation on part 4. It kind of just builds up and builds up and builds up, as you guys can see. So here's what part 5, the final section, is going to sound like. So it's identical to part 4, except for the quick notes. Those are called 16th notes. Da, 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 da. That's what scares most people. That's what sticks out. If you can't do them, forget it. Play parts 1, 2, 3, and 4, and it's going to sound great, and people will love it, and you can impress your friends. But if you're able to bear with me for the next few minutes and get these upcoming quick 16th notes, you can add a final little impressive flair to your arrangement here. So here's what we're going to do. Again, ring finger on A, high A, but you're going to flick 4, 5, 4, A, B, A, quickly afterwards. Like that. This will take some practice because, again, these are weak fingers. So A, B, A with 4, 4, 5, 4. Like that. And that fits in to the rest like this. So it's the same as the previous part, just with those quick notes kind of cut and pasted in. Again. Let's talk about that ending. There are just a few extra notes at the end. So when you finish part 5, here's the end. Cross, 3 to G sharp, and then big gap. Look at this. 1 on B, cross again, 3 on G sharp, thumb on E. 3, thumb on B, 3 on G sharp, 1 on E. You want to do these crosses because you want the musical phrase to sound really connected. You don't want to hop around and jump like this. Also, there's a higher chance you'll be inaccurate if you try to do this and jump to those notes. So just do it the way that I'm showing you. So if you've survived this long, you're in for a treat. The left hand is only 4 notes, repeating over and over. It's the easiest left hand I've probably ever taught in history. So all you need to do is master this position. Left hand, thumb, finger 1 on F sharp, below middle C, of course, right? Not up here or we'll crash. So thumb on F sharp, and then we're going to play middle finger on D, pinky on A. So far down and down, right? We're going this way, left on your piano. And then finally, the last note, because yes, there are only 4 notes, is second finger on E. So just practice this position with me. 1 on F sharp, 3 on D, 5 on A, 2 on E. Just like that. A couple of times. See if you can do it looking away. Don't do this. That's bad. So look up. Look out the window. And see if you can play those notes and commit them to muscle memory. That's the best thing to do, so that you can worry about the right hand and devote some brain space to that, since it's so much more complex. Okay? So all of the left hand notes are whole notes, by the way, which means 4-beat notes, really long notes. So they're like this. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Over and over and over and over again. Now, the only time you're not doing what I just showed you is the very beginning. Remember part 1, which just went like this? That has an even easier left hand. It's just half of what I showed you. It's F sharp, D, and then you just sit there. You don't do the other 2 notes that I showed you. Just stay there. So that would look like this. Just hang out there, let it breathe. Again. Let it breathe. That's it. Now for the rest of the song, do the left hand that I showed you, those 4 notes. I'm going to show you how it works by playing through the parts slowly. So here's part 2. Switch the left hand. Here we go, switch. 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 Here comes part 4. Here's part 5. Here's the ending. And I just let my left hand hang out on E, which is the last note. Guys, if you're still here at the very end of this video, I really appreciate you watching. It's kind of a long lesson. It's kind of a complex piece, even though I've distilled it down into the simplest form that it really can be. And if you don't believe me, check out the sheet music that's available for purchase all over the internet. It's like 12 pages, 14 pages. This is a really hard song. So this will satisfy most people's ears and fingers, and they won't even know that it's watered down as much as it is. So let me know if you like it. Leave me a comment, thumbs up. Please subscribe if you like it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much.